Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am super excited to have you here. Today we are back in the SWS Kodiak 100 and we are back at the Hogsback Ranch. We did just go for a little horse ride around the pasture here, and then our dispatch gave us a ring and we have a flight. We actually are going to be flying out of Hogsback empty, going to Cedar Mountain, which is another scenery made by Parallel 42. Which this one is as well. And we're going to be picking up some people there to take them back to Idaho. So it is a 580 nautical mile flight, which will take about 4 hours. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to our horse here and hit the road. Alright, so here we are in the SWS Kodiak 100. We're going to go ahead and get our door closed and latched so I don't forget. And we're going to do our initial setup of the aircraft. First, we're going to lock our seat. We're going to give ourselves some fuel. We do have a buddy joining us today. Don't ask me what his name is. I don't remember. So then coming down here, everything's off. That's looking good. Lights, we'll go ahead and turn the beacon and the nav on. Everything else is, well, we're going to want bypass on for startup. Firewall can go in. That firewall is in. Emergency power is in normal. Idle, feather, and cutoff flaps are up. Then looking at our circuit breakers, everything looks good. We're just going to go ahead and push that forward to about there. And now let's go ahead and begin the startup sequence. And for that, we're going to shimmy over, we're going to lift up our armrest, shimmy over to the middle so we can get a better view. We'll go ahead and turn the master on. Go ahead and bring the fuel pump to on. We'll bring ignition on.
Going to 132.2 southwest 4156.
Okay. Wasn't expecting to hear anyone that fast. So now go to engine, lean, feels good. So for startup, we're going to be looking at this gauge right here. This is the NG, and we want that to be at 14% or greater before we introduce fuel to the engine. Which that will happen once we drop this into low motor and we provide it with fuel. Then once the engine starts getting up to power, we're going to go ahead and bring the prop up to high RPM. So let's go ahead and do that. So low motor, NG's alive, going through 5, going through 10, 12, there's 14, low idle. It's then everything's coming up. So now we're going to bring that up to max. We'll jump into RC. We're going to flip that to COM 2 so that way we don't have to hear COM 1. Alright, then monitoring the engine. Torque's good. ITT's good. Prop's coming up. And our NG is stable at 53.6. So we'll go ahead and bring generator and alternator on. Starter can go off. Ignition can go off. And we'll bring the aux pump to standby. We'll flip our Avionics bus on as well. And we'll go ahead and get the aux on. We'll flip that to Fahrenheit so I actually know what temperature it is. Get that set to 72 for both cabins. On and auto, on and auto. And we'll check our oxygen when we're at it. We got a full tank of oxygen because we will need it. We're going to be cruising at 13,000 feet today. And then while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and get the rudder trim plugged in as well. That should be good right there. And now I'm going to get the avionics and the flight plan set up. So if you don't care to watch that, I will see you later on. Alright, so for those of you who are curious about the avionics and the flight plan, we're going to go ahead and do our flight plan first. Just coming here, we're going to go to flight plan. Up down to origin. we are at 42. Then it should be Hotel Bravo, if I remember right. Yep, 42 Hotel Bravo. And with the weather, we're going to be taking off runway 17. And then our destination is 42 Charlie Mike. Cedar Mountain in Emory County, Utah. That's where we want to go. I don't know what runway we're going to use yet. So now en route, our first waypoint is called Wydut, which is Whiskey India Delta Uniform Tango. And I went one too many over. There it is. That's our first waypoint. Then we're going to Zuzuru. I think that'd be pronounced. I just totally butchered that name. It is Zulu Uniform Sierra Romeo Uniform.
Seattle Center, Southwest 5061.
We're hearing them again. Oh, that's because we're on the same frequency. Okay, so then from there we're actually going to pick up a Victor Airway. So we're going to go to Lowith Airway, be on Victor 32. And our exit point is going to be all the way at, I forget the name of the VOR, but, oh wait, actually no, we're going all the way to Stackho. That one right there. And let's see, looking through that. The BU and BVL. Let's see where that is everywhere we want to go. Then now scroll all the way down for a while to right here. We're going to get on Victor 200. And we're going to take Victor 200 to Foxtrot Uniform. If I can find it. It should be in here. B200 to Foxtrot Uniform. Let's see. Let's look at the waypoints. B200. So, that's sending us back the opposite direction. Oh wait, there we go. There it is. Found it. Yep, that's what we want. Enter. Coming way down here to the bottom. So then after that, we want Victor 134. Menu, load. Airway is 134. And we're going to that waypoint right there, which will pretty much line us up directly with the runway to Cedar Mountain. Now we just got to figure out if that's the right runway or not. So then zooming out. I always forget this isn't like touchscreen. I don't know why I can't remember that. Okay, so zooming out. Will this scroll with it? No. Oh no. Not what I want to do. Not what I want to do. Ah! I broke it. Clear? There we go. So zooming out, I was hoping this would scroll with us. What does it? There we go. Aha, I figured out what I'm doing now. Yeah, so for an overview of our flight plan, here we are in California. We have to fly around a bunch of MOAs and restricted airspaces. This will take us just about to Salt Lake City, and then we're going to come down to Cedar Mountain. We're going to use about 1,000 pounds of fuel on this flight. I want to say it's closer to 1,100. So we got a little over 1,600 on board just to give us enough for emergencies or diverting, you know, having to reroute ourselves. So now let's go ahead and get all this set up. We're going to be taking off runway 17 for the autopilot, so we'll get heading locked in. So 17. There's 170. We'll go ahead and put that in. Can we do flight level change right off the bat? Oh, we can. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get a flight level change of a speed set for... we need to climb a little fast today just to get around this volcano behind us. So we'll go ahead and set that to 101. And our altitude's going to be 13,000 feet. Now we get to do a lot of scrolling. Oh, that was not the scrolling I wanted to do. Let's see. Will this go faster? I don't know why. This seems like it's taken forever to scroll to 13,000 today. There's 13,000. So 13,000 flight level change. Oh man, I just messed that up, didn't I? I did. You know, we'll hit that once we get climbing, actually. Flight director's on. So then come down here, map H5, relative terrain, good. Options, wind, we'll leave option 1. We'll go ahead and turn DE. Set that one to GPS. That one can be nav 2. Yeah. CDI. We want that set to GPS. Transponder. We'll go ahead and put a code in. We'll be. We'll do 3031 for code. Go ahead and go on. Ident. Time and a RAF. So now we get to break out our handy dandy Kodiak app on our cell phone. And we'll go to departure. Looking for departure, the bypass is going to be on. Temperature 7, so pitot heat will be off, air conditioning will be off, bleed heat will be off, and electric heat will be off as well. Because we want the best performance to get out of this strip, because it's only about 1,000 feet long. Are we scooting forward? Oh, I could have swore we scooted forward a little. Let's see, so takeoff roll is supposed to be 600 feet. We're going to rotate at 60, which is right there. Glide speed is 97. So then looking at our VY is going to be 99 knots today. And then our VX, I like to use the takeoff configuration stall speed times 1.3, which is going to be 72. And our minimums, we're going to go ahead and make pretty much our... We're going to make it our pretty much acceleration height, which we'll call it 1,500 feet. Well, if we're at 6, actually, we are not at 640. What is the Reading ATIS so that we can get the current information? Reading ATIS is 124.1. That 124. Scroll up, that'll be faster. 124.1. I guess it doesn't want to work. Okay, since we can't pick up ATIS for whatever reason, let's see. This will tell us the weather. Let's see, the last Reading METAR says on the 3rd of February at 4:53 Zulu, winds were 270 at 7 mile visibility, clear skies, temperature 6, dew point 1, altimeter is 3019. Okay, then let's do the magic B button and see what it says. It agrees. Okay. So if we're at essentially 9, oh, that's what am I doing? There we go. So if we're at essentially 900 feet, we're going to want to get to our acceleration altitude. We'll call it 2,400 feet. We're going to want to focus on accelerating, because that'd be 1,500 feet from where we are now. Let's scroll that up. There's 19, 2,000, 21, 22, and 24. There you go, 2,400 feet will be our barrel minimums. Time and ref will go down. We'll go ahead and set that to nearest. And we're about to taxi onto the runway, so we'll go ahead and set that to altitude reporting. So all that is established. We got heading, we got pitch, flight director is on. No wind data. Let's zoom that in to 10 miles. This we need to zoom back in a lot. We'll zoom that down to 4. Let's see, altitude set to 13,000, heading is set to 17. Alright, everything looks good. That is set up, so we're going to go ahead and turn off. We'll leave air on until we get out onto the runway. Let's see, trims are set. Okay, bypass. Alright, we are going to go ahead and taxi onto the runway and get down for takeoff. Alright, so now we are lined up at the end of the runway, so we'll go ahead and bring that all the way up. We're going to go ahead and do flaps 2 for takeoff, just because this is a short runway today. So we'll go ahead and turn the ox pump back on. We'll go ahead and kill this now, and we'll just turn that system all the way off. Alright, taxi light can go off, cabin on, that's on pulse. Yeah, everything is good to go. Let's just verify fuel's in the green, and seats are locked and locked. Cool. We are not good for takeoff. We didn't set up our radios. Oops, my bad. I knew I was forgetting something when we were over there on the ramp. Get guard plugged in. Okay, guard is in. Get that active. One active. And what's center? I don't feel like looking it up. Okay, it's not going to tell us what center is right now, but we'll go ahead and tune that to traffic. We should have did before we came out onto the runway. And yeah, so we'll get our view. We'll worry about the VORs once we get en route, because we're primarily using GPS. But since this is a short field takeoff, we're going to go ahead and bring the throttle up and make sure everything stabilizes. Alright, there's torque at 900. Drop is stable. ITT is slowly going up. Alright, let's go ahead and bring it to maximum torque. Alright, there's the top of the green arc. So now we're going to hold down the brakes, and we're off. So we're looking for 60 knots, and we don't have a lot of room to get there. We're going to stay to the left just because of the shrubs there. Alright, there's 40. There's 50. We're going to slowly come up. Try not to hit those trees, and we're off.
Don't sink.
And we're not coordinated.
Sink.
There we go.
Don't sink.
Wasn't my best takeoff, but we'll accept it. There's 73, so we'll bring the first notch of flaps up. We'll just maintain this right now. There's 83. I'll wait till 90. Then that's close enough to 90, so we'll come off that. I'll just be a little bit uncoordinated for a second while I get the autopilot configured. We'll do a flight level change for 101 knots. And we'll go ahead and engage yaw damper autopilot. And we'll maintain this current heading actually. Let that do its thing. And now we'll go ahead and hit nav, see if it'll pick it will not pick it up, so I'll go ahead and turn us on course. Not my best takeoff, I will give it that. It was not very good, but we did not crash, which is probably the only thing that really matters. Is we did not crash leaving Hogsback Ranch. That would have been embarrassing. And somewhere back there is the ranch. I think it's right there, if I could see the radio antenna. Oh, there it is. There's the runway we left from. Goodbye, Hogsback Ranch. Hello, Cedar Mountain. Okay, so here we are with about 600 feet to go in the climb. Give it just a little bit of left rudder. Try and get us coordinated again. And, excuse me. Alright, and it is windy. Look at that. We got a 53 knot crosswind. Look at that correction angle. It is breezy today, but we're still doing 151 over the ground, so that's pretty good. I'll accept that. I am going to change which VOR we got plugged in. I'm going to see if we can pick up the Lovelock VOR, which is on the 116.5 on nav 2. Because at that one, when that's about 90 degrees to our right, looks like we can't get it yet. We'll tune this one back to 17.9. So when the Lovelock VOR is about 90 degrees off to our right, that's when we'll want to switch to Salt Lake Center. So now we're leveling off at our altitude. So let's go ahead and check out what our cruise thrust is according to our Kodiak Performance app. Cruise torque is going to be 13.3, and that's for a 100% cruise at 2,000 RPM. So we're only going to bring it down about 20 pounds on the torque. So that was too much. Want to be at 1330. Let's make sure that's for a -10 for the OAT. Give it some more left rudder. Let's see, so outside air temperature is -10 at 13,000 feet. Yep, and we want 1330. Give it just a little bit more of a nudge. There's 1330. See if that levels out. And let's see here. This says at 1330 we should be burning 1331 pounds an hour. What are we burning? 1338. Pretty close. And that says range width reserve is 657. We're showing total range of 740. So that's looking pretty good. Especially considering our whole flight's only 580 nautical miles, so we're well within that. We got about 200 extra miles of range, and we're picking up some icing. So let's go ahead and get windshield, ice, and TKS on. Let's get our defrost going on the windshield as well, and we'll bring the temperature up to 75. Let's go into page 2 and let's actually turn on the electric heaters for the front. Bring that down. That should help us out. How's our wings look? Wings are looking good. Got a little bit of ice on the side window, but that should start coming off.
Contact Seattle Center on 127.6. Good day.
Then we'll just update our altimeter. And now we're doing 182 over the ground. Got a 5 to 6 knot tailwind with about 50 knots off our right wing. So that'll do us pretty good. So with that, I'm gonna get us cruising, and we'll go ahead and have a chitty chat a little bit later on the flight. I'll see you guys soon. Alright, so here we are, just coming up on the Great Salt Lake. We're over the Stansbury Bay, and that little guy right up there is Stansbury Island. Here shortly we'll be getting to the waypoint Stacko, and we're going to be making a right-hand turn to head out that way. And it's looking a little foggy, actually. Maybe that's just some low-level clouds, I'm not sure what it is. We'll find out soon enough as we start descending. Once we turn to the right, I believe we should have about half an hour left in flight. We're going to fly over looks like the Bingham Copper Mine, go down to Fairfield, cross pass. We're going to go right oh my gosh, words are hard today. We're going to go right past Provo and Spanish Fork, slowly make our way down towards the Carbon VOR, which I want to say is Price. Yeah, Price, Utah, and Carbonville, before we turn right again and make our way down to where we actually want to land. Looks like it's been a pretty good flight. Weather has been awesome. It's been a lot nicer than our last flight we made going out to California. So we really couldn't have asked for better weather. We did get some icing there off the beginning. We did have a fairly abysmal takeoff. Definitely could have been a lot better. But, you know, we didn't have very good landing, so why have very good takeoff, right? And then just kind of going over our flight plan. We want to be way down here. Looks like 150 miles. We're going 187, so I guess we still have about an hour left en route. But that's okay. Oh shoot, not that. Oh no, there we go. Almost messed that up again. We've done that a couple times today. Still looks like got someone to park in Salt Lake out in front of us. Can we see them? They're pretty low. You know, I'd be amazed if we see them. They're going to be somewhere off of our nose, way down there. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find that aircraft. Somewhere out here, 7,000 feet below us. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it. If we do, I'd be amazed. Yeah, so it's been a pretty good flight. We're about to begin our right-hand turn. So that way, now we're getting really close to Cedar Mountain. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. Our departure out of Hogsback Ranch was my first time departing Hogsback Ranch, just like when we got there. That was my first time ever being there. It's going to be the same story for Cedar Mountain. I have never flown there, and I've never been there in this aircraft. So it'll be really fun to check out the new scenery. We do have a significantly longer runway, which will be nice. If I remember correctly, Cedar Mountain has a 2,000-foot runway, and it's gravel. And Hogsback Ranch had like an 894-foot runway, if I remember correct. So we're going to have runway for days, especially compared to what we just departed from. And it looks like the traffic's coming towards us now, but he's still descending. Oh, he's 8,000 feet below us. Interesting. Somewhere out yonder. But we will continue on this way and wonder what on earth those airplanes are doing, wherever they are. Somewhere out here. Somewhere. Yeah, don't know. Yeah, we don't have too much of a channel update today, as I had a video come out just a couple days ago. I'm actually doing surprisingly well at staying on top of videos, which that will change because all of next week, this being February 3rd at the time of recording, all of next week I'm going to be out of town, so we'll see if over the next couple days I can actually get some videos made. That way maybe I can schedule them and you'll never even notice that I went out of town for a whole week. That's cool. They actually got that modeled right there. That's cool. See, does the VFR map say what exactly that is? The Garfield Stack. Yep, that is definitely a good landmark. You're not going to miss that. The Garfield Stack. Okay, so that means in front of us and to the right should be the Tool Valley Airport. Let's pop up over the nose. I'm not going to be able to see it over the nose of our aircraft, I think. Somewhere over there, there's an airport. Looking on here. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. Yeah, so far, it's been a great flight. Not too much for the channel update other than I'm actually staying on top of videos for a change. I actually did my first full flight in the Phoenix A320 the other night. That's kind of a cool airplane. Maybe it'll make its way to the channel. No promises. Definitely going to fly the Kodiak some more. I still have a list of videos that I need and want to make for the channel. I know I need to make one in the Constellation. And by need, I'm requiring myself. I need to make one in the Constellation. I'd eventually like to do the A310, you know, maybe the A320. A2A announced that the Comanches finally made it into beta, so that would be really exciting if the Comanche comes out soon. I absolutely love that airplane, and I cannot wait to have it in this game. I guess this simulator. You know, it'll be really exciting as the new aircraft come out and I have some more free time to get some more videos up. Absolutely enjoying this weather we're having today. Look how far we can see. We can see for miles. This is wonderful. The weather worked out really nice today. Like normal, we are using real-world weather. We are not using real-world time because it would be very dark. It's currently 1:30 in the morning in real life. And as you can tell, it is not 1:30 in the morning in Utah, being this bright out. Oh look, there's a plane. We found one. Looks like Delta. What a surprise, it is Salt Lake City. They seem really close to the mountain. Where's he at? 11,000 feet. That low to the mountain. That seems really close. Man. Must be heavy not being able to climb. That was really close. Sorry, wow. I did not realize I was that close to the microphone. But yeah. So not a whole lot for today's update other than I'm going to be out of town, so there might be a delay in videos, but hopefully I can get another video or two recorded and edited before I leave. That way I can just like upload them and tell YouTube to schedule to come out on Friday or something. Because ultimately, the goal for the channel, 3 videos a week. And if I can get this one up this week, that puts me at 2 for the last 7 days. And if I can get a third one scheduled, I'm actually going to hit that 3 videos in a week, I think, for the first time ever on the channel. That would be really exciting if I can actually get ahead of myself. Because if I can get ahead of myself, then it would just be a lot easier. Because then I'm not like, oh no, I haven't made a video in 2 weeks. And now I need to rush to get one out, and I don't know what I want to do. Give myself some extra time. Yeah, so I'm going to keep us flying. We're going to try and do a little bit better for top of descent planning. Looks like we got our VNAV profile set up, probably on a 3-degree flight path. So that's in there. Hopefully that'll help us out a little bit. We didn't do the best descent planning going into Hogsback Ranch. So hopefully this will be a little better. I will see you guys closer to Cedar Mountain. Alright, so here we are. We did update the G1000. It did not have the landing elevation of Cedar Mountain. Landing elevation is 7,535 feet. I did spare you guys the trouble of having to watch me dial in our minimum altitude. I put in 8 grand, about 500 feet above field elevation. So we got plenty of safe distance there. Looking at the sectional, if I can scroll back up to where I want to be. That's also the minimum safe altitude on the VFR sectional is 8,000. In the vicinity of Cedar Mountain, which looks like it's also Buckhorn Flat on the VFR map, we do have some microwave towers that stick up to about 7,665 feet. So that's something we'll want to keep in mind of. They should be off to the right of the airport. And our airport, I'm thinking, is going to be right... Oh, I am returning. Is going to be right there somewhere. Is kind of what I'm thinking. We'll see once we get this turn completed. Let's zoom in and just touch more. There's 15 miles. We're 11 miles out. Not 11 miles. We are 11 minutes out from the airport. And we only got to descend 5,000 feet. So we can really start our descent about 5,000. Oh my gosh. Words are really hard today. We can begin our descent about 5 minutes out. We are coming up on Price, Utah. That's where we were supposed to turn. And so somewhere, maybe this is all Price. Is Price, anyone watching, have you been to Price, Utah? And is it a big town? It doesn't look like it'd be a very large town. Looks kind of small, but it looks like it'd be really pretty. If you've been there, let me know what you think of Price, Utah. Never been. Yeah, we're really not seeing a whole lot. Looks like kind of a nice small town. Nestled up against the mountains. I bet there's a ski resort over here somewhere. Although I'm not seeing any like ski runs, but this would be a good area to put one, I would think. I mean, just look at the mountains. Plenty of space. I'm sure they get snow here. The game makes it seem like they have snow at least. So now we're 30.4 miles out, which is 10.5 minutes essentially. We got 275 in each tank. So we're probably going to land with about 500 pounds in our tanks, which when I set up the minimums, I also went ahead and put in our speeds. 97 knots is still our glide speed. VR, I put in the stall speed for landing configuration, so that is 38 knots. VX is our VREF that the app provided, so 63 knots is what we're going to aim to be at on final. And then 83 knots is the stall speed in clean configuration times 1.3. And I don't know why this is suspend, but okay, whatevs. Then tentatively, we are going to plan on landing runway 15, which, if the winds stay true to how they are right now, we got a 12 knot crosswind and a 2 knot headwind, so that would be our best choice. Which Cedar Mountain should be directly in front of us now. Where's our flight path? Okay, flight path's going a little bit this way, so Cedar Mountain should be right about here. And somewhere in this area should be some towers. According to the VFR sectional, this would be Buckhorn Flat, which the game is calling Cedar Mountain. So we're going to call it Cedar Mountain because that's what the scenery is called. Once again, this scenery is made by Parallel 42, and it is called Cedar Mountain. They also made the Hogsback Ranch, which we just departed from. Oh, there's Price. Price looks much larger now. Okay. And large, that's by Montana standards. I'm sure some of you people in the big city would say that's a very small town. Where I'm from in Montana, that's a pretty good sized town, it looks like. Look, there's another little, like, I don't want to call it a suburb. It looks like a little suburb of Price. Looks like we're going to be leaving the snow. Okay. So that right there should be roughly the airport. You got a little bit of a drift to the left. Yeah, somewhere in this area. And somewhere in this area are some microwave towers, which would be cool if they put that in the if they put that in like the scenery, those towers. That'd be cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to have you guys just stare at the screen. I was looking at my other computer, which has all of my, which has the VFR sectionals and checklist. Which, speaking of checklists, let's get ourselves up to date here and do the descent checklist, because we're about to descend. So descent, pitot static will be as required. We're -7, so we need it on. We will be doing an off-field landing, so we're going to keep the separator in bypass. Radios and avionics are set up. We will go ahead and tune to the local traffic. Landing lights, we left them on just for safety. They've been on pulse this whole time. Approach procedures are not required. It is a visual landing. Power will be set. Then we'll go ahead and take ourselves all the way down to pretty much just landing. We go ahead and make sure fuel's still on and seatbelts are locked. I'm locked, green, and passenger is locked. Firewalls are pushed in, right there in front of him, and right there in front of the throttle quadrant. Come down here, we want to go ahead and flip the boost pump to on. Still in bypass. Condition lever is in high. We'll leave propeller at 2000 for right now. Landing lights are good, and as we said, harnesses are locked. If we want to follow the checklist completely, at 130 would drop 10 notches, 10 degrees of flaps. At 115 would drop 20, and then 30 would be put in at 105. We're not going to follow that necessarily. And now we will go ahead and begin our descent. First things first, though, we're going to start slowing up. We'll pull throttle back some. We want to slow down to about 115 is what I want to descend at. Oh no. There we go. We froze for a second. We're going to slow back to about 115. There's 8 grand. It looks like I need to bring throttle back some more. You know, we'll go ahead and bring that propeller all the way forward. That'll help give us just a little bit more drag to help slow us down. And as we try and slow, let's see if we can get a visual on our runway. Well, I can see some rocks that were put in. I bet that's a runway right there. But that's it. So there is 115. We'll go ahead and do FLC. Bump that up to 115. Go ahead and drop some more throttle. Let's try and get right on that magenta triangle there on the feet per minute. Alright, so everything is set up. We're not going to need any icing protection, so we'll go ahead and turn off our air conditioning. I like to turn off the aux bus as well. And we're going through 12.5. I think we will be safe to go ahead and flip the oxygen off now, as we are on our way down. We'll go ahead and flip the taxi light to on. We are still in pulse. Cabin lights are set to normal. We can honestly turn them off. It is daytime. Pitot static system will stay on. And let's see. Rudder's looking good. Trims should be good. Yeah, we'll keep this descent up. Let's try and get a visual on our airport, which that's looking like a runway to me right there. I don't know what you guys think. I'm going to say that is our runway. We come down here, we are drifting to, let's see, right about there. Let's just line that little diamond up. The diamond's lined up. Yeah, so that's got to be our airport right there under the camera button. So that should be where we are going to. And do we see those microwave towers yet? I think maybe right there? I could be crazy. I'm probably just picturing it now. We are still descending a little on the slow side, but that's okay because we're going to do a flyover, make sure it's safe to land. Keep maintaining 115. There's no ATIS here because there's not. It's a gravel strip, so we'll hit the magic B button. Wow, altimeter is 30.65. That seems very high. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm just a drone pilot, but that seems abnormally high to me. So far, we're still good to land on runway 15. We're seeing a 7-knot crosswind, 4-knot headwind. And let's just keep trying to get a visual on the runway. still looking. That's gotta be a runway. That's the most runway looking thing that I see. And with those rocks there from parallel 42, somewhere in this box is our airport, just not making it out yet, but I'm pretty sure that's where we want to be. So 115, we're 4 minutes out, got 3,000 feet to go. There's our arc for 8,000. Yep, that'll put me about exactly where I want to be for the flyover. It's about 500 feet above the airport when we get there. This is a really nice little scenery. I love the mountains. And look at that. That looks nice. It's interesting where the snow just happens to end. What does over here look like? Not as scenic. Alright, but looking back ahead, oh yeah, that's a runway. That is for sure a runway. Look at that. I can see it now. Almost looks like it's a little bit of a bowl-shaped runway. Alright, so let's slow this up a little bit more. Let's bring torque down to about 500. There's about 500. 480, close enough. Doesn't need to be exact. So now that we're coming up, once we take the auto, we'll actually take the autopilot off now. I think we can hand fly this. I think I should be able to trust myself to hand fly this. So autopilot is disengaged. I am now in control of the aircraft. And so let's take a little look around. So we got almost a little bowl here in the middle. There's those towers we were talking about. I can kind of see them now. So we're still coming in at 115. We're going to go to the right, just kind of like what we did with Hogsback Ranch. We're going to go a little bit to the right so that way I can get a good view out of my window of the airport. And also gives us a good idea of what the wind is doing. So we're at 9,300. We got about 1,300 feet to go. And what'll be really nice is we don't have to worry about our landing distance on this one. We have a little over twice the runway that we had for Hogsback Ranch. So that'll be really, really nice. And there is our runway. Looks nice and long. And looking at our winds, currently we got a 3 to 2 knot headwind with a 3 to 2 knot crosswind. So I'm definitely going to say, unless something changes here in the next 900 feet for us descending, and the little bit of a left-hand turn we're going to make, we're definitely going to be landing on runway, it should be about a runway 15. Drift a little bit to the left. Bring our throttle back because we're gaining speed. And let's try and level that out right here. So, real nice looking scenery, that's for sure. And we're going to be picking some people up to bring them back to Idaho after this, which that'll be nice. Get the Idaho Air Service back into Idaho. Alright, so we got 2 knot headwind, 1 knot headwind now, 3 knot crosswind. So we're going to definitely have a crosswind landing, but this looks like it will be our best runway, that's for sure. Looks fairly well maintained. I can't tell if that's, yeah, so we got a log down there. Hey, look, there's another plane here. Got a bright yellow airplane down there. And a car. Okay. Oh wow, look at that. That looks awesome. That looks really good. Wow. I love those rocks that parallel 42 put in. That looks really good. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and drop flaps 1 if I don't get distracted by the scenery. Look at that one just about to go under the nose. Wow. It's pretty. I wish I could have got a picture of it, but I was busy, you know, doing everything else. Alright, so we're right about 8,300 feet, so we're coming up on the VY. Let's be mindful of that. Ooh, and there's a campfire. Maybe we're going to taxi down there. Go check that stuff out. And there's those radio microwave antennas off our left wing. Yeah, this is nice scenery. I'm going to have to come back here, I think. Alright, and we're on downwind. What's our speed looking? 88. We'll go ahead and drop flaps 20. Up getting us slowed down. Oh, there's some more smoke right there off, just coming up on the leading edge. That's cool. Alright, so there's 78. Let's try not to drift too much slower than this, and we're getting a little uncoordinated. We're getting more torque put in. Right, I'm going to go ahead and begin our turn towards final. Oh, look at those rocks too. Man, this is a great scenery. I know I've said that a bunch just in a short period of time, but yeah, this is a great scenery. I'm really liking it. I love just the rocks that they put in. It looks so nice. Alright, so here we go. Let's work. We need to get slowed up to VREF now. Just 63 knots, so we need to really bring the power back. That final, oh, and we're going wide. There's VREF. Get ourselves fixed up here on approach. We're at VREF. Flaps are full. We are good to land. Just get ourselves coordinated. Got 2 knot crosswind, 1 knot headwind. We are as stable, I think, as we are going to be for this landing. And, oh, getting a little bit wild there. Try and make this one softer than our last one. Clear the shrubs. Bring power back. Nose up. Okay. Not bad. I don't think we're going to need reverse for this one. We'll just keep the elevators pulled all the way back. Give it a little bit of brakes. Okay. That's a nice looking airplane. Alright, and so we are on the ground. I'm going to stop here. Can we fit down there? I think we should be able to fit down there. First things first, let's go ahead and bring that back to low idle. Landing lights can come off. Taxi lights stay on. Strobes will go off. Transponder we will drop on to on. And we'll bring the aux pump off. We'll get the aux bus come back on to maintain our temperature. And now we will get off the runway for in case someone else in a little airplane like that wants to come in and land. Or who knows, maybe there'll be another Kodiak. That'd be cool. We're going to have to break out the tent. Nice place to set up camp for the night. Give it a little bit more power. And okay, just watching, make sure we're not going to hit anything. And now we get to find ourselves a nice little parking spot. Been looking at our after landing checklist. We did bring the fuel condition lever to low idle. Taxi lights are on. Landing lights are off. Strobes are off. Flaps are now coming up. Auxiliary fuel pump is off, and we can turn the pitot heat off. Just drop back down. Probably gonna yell at us because it's -2 out. Yep, sure is. Okay. And we took too much power out. Looking around, where do we want to park? Love to park up there on the right by that tent. Although these trucks here on the left look nice, I just don't know if we're going to have the room to park there. Let's turn flight director off. We don't need that on. And I will delete the flight plan in a minute. And we're slowing up too much again. Just a little bit more power in. Keep reducing it too much. I'm trying to look around, do everything else. And that was way too much. Now we're just cruising. I think we're going to park over here by what looks like a Land Cruiser 70. We're going to take this parking spot here. I can get my power brought back up enough. Come on. You can do it. Come on. I don't want to give it too much because then we're going to just start flying and I got to make a fairly sharp turn here without taking out any trees. Really don't want to damage the wing in front of our client. That would not go very well for us. Alright. I have plenty of room. Make sure we don't take out this pickup. I think right here will be beautiful. So brakes are set. Just confirm that. Yep, brakes are set. Alright, so now for shutdown, we're going to leave the bypass on. Parking brake is on. Air conditioning is off. Aux bus is off. Power lever is set to idle. We can now bring the prop down to feather. And we need to feather it for 1 minute. So let the engine cool down. Start. Alright, so then generator and alternator can go to off. Oxygen can go to off, and it already is. We need to let that idle for a minute so we can't turn the fuel off, but we can go ahead and delete our flight plan because we have arrived at Cedar Mountain. I really like that truck right there. Looks like a Land Cruiser 70. Nice ARB bumper, winch, lights on it, snorkel, good looking truck. Let's go with a good looking airplane. Oh, aux bus can go off. We'll go ahead and turn the Avionics bus off as well. Open up our window, let some fresh air in. Lights. We can go ahead and turn the taxi light off. And the nav lights we can kill. Leave the beacon light on until the prop stops. And that is really all we can do until we get this prop shut down, which will be coming up in 2 and 1. That is time. Bring the fuel lever back to cutoff. Engine's getting killed. So we'll go ahead, unlock our seatbelts, get the fuel shut-offs turned on. There's the firewall. We got cutoff, feather, idle, and normal. Beacon light can go off. And finally, our avionics master, well, our battery master can go off. Go ahead and get our co-pilot out. I'll hop out as well, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Alright everyone, so I had to come check out this truck. It does indeed look like a Land Cruiser 70 series. I don't know how they got this in the States. These are hard to find. But it also looks like our plane is smoking. I promise you it is not. We actually had a really good landing this go around. And that just happens to be the fire from the other camp. So ignore the fact it looks like we're on fire. We are not. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. You can even like the video. You could subscribe too. That'd be awesome. I'm hoping to do more of these videos. I'm really enjoying the Kodiak. There's definitely going to be more Kodiak videos on the channel. I'm sure no one's surprised by that, as that is probably what most of the videos on my channel are, is the Kodiak. And it will not be going away anytime soon, but we will have to start bringing in some new airplanes as well. Once again, all of you guys are awesome, and I'm so happy to have you guys here, and I think we're up to 211 subscribers as of recording this, and it's not much, but I didn't think we'd ever make it this far, so I'm pretty happy to even have 211 of you subscribed. All of you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.